Hello and welcome back to the Tea Break Podcast, episode 12. I'm very proud of that. Finally episode 12, Mike, and it's our E3 special.
Yay!
And we're going to talk about our predictions for E3. It's our off-the-cuff British take on the world of VR, helped out of course by you, the listener, where we search out the very best in VR news so you don't have to. So without further delay, I am your host Adam, and joining me today is Mike.
Hey!
How are you, Mike?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
It's always nice to hear. So you've got lots of things written down. You've got 5, don't you?
Yes, I
and
have
then
5.
And then we've got our stab in the dark prediction, which is going to be our maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, maybe we're just being insane. I mean, we've seen
I believe the
things.
I believe the political correct term is wishful thinkers.
You're right as well. It is called wishful thinking. Now, first things first, we have some things to do, and with introductions out the way, we move on to Blog Testing! It's time for our first segment, where we head over and check out the PlayStation VR blog and save you the trouble of doing it yourself. So first up, I'm going to have to actually open the blog. There we go. There's quite a few posts. We're going to read out the last ones that we haven't read out since the last time. We've got Salvage Rex and Escape Your Rivals in PSVR Sci-Fi Adventure Detached, out 5th of July.
Yes, it's from the looks of it, it's on a more sort of Sea of Thieves in space.
Sea of Thieves? I thought it was more of, to be fair, as far as I've seen.
It says it's got like PvP, player versus player battles.
No, that's true. It's cool. It says, have you wondered what it's like to be an astronaut? Can you really do anything in zero gravity? Well, now you can find out without ever leaving your seat. And then it goes on to explain what it actually is, but it seems to be a survival game where you face off in harsh conditions and challenges in zero G. You're a space scavenger, and together with your companion, I haven't seen anything of a companion in the trailer, is looking for a scrap at the site of a cosmic battle. So you just seem to be doing salvage. You've got oxygen, you're in a little pod by the seams of it, going around in your suit. But other than that, I don't really know anything about it. Do you?
Not really. My basis of it on Sea of Thieves is what I just read in the blog there.
Oh, what I just read then?
Yeah, well, it says it's player versus player battles. And
You're
looking for something very Sea of Thieves gameplay.
Well,
where you're going to island to dig up treasure, to sell on, to get more treasure.
Oh, I see your point. You think that there's going to be sort of hunting out salvage individually. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more along the lines of shooting each other.
Oh yeah, there'll be that element as well.
I guess all online, but yeah, I see your analogy all of a sudden that there's going to be it's the going to search for salvage that you see as a sort of Sea of Thieves.
And the fact that it's got an online component as well.
No, you're not wrong. That works fairly well actually. Next on the blog we have, quite pleasing to me and Mike, and quite close to our Star Trekian hearts, the Bridge Crew DLC brings Next Generation PSVR on the 22nd of May.
Recognisable uniforms!
Yay! The Borg, the Romulans, new voyages, and the iconic bridge of the NCC-1701D. Yay!
This is the version. It's the version of the Enterprises that was sort of like a cruise ship at the same time. You know, it had civilian decks. It had your bars.
Oh, you know what this ship is?
Yeah, it's Picard's ship before he gets blown up all those times.
Right, the original big disc.
The big disc.
I see. See, that really helps because I've not. I mean, I love Voyager. Voyager's very close to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
Love Voyager with a deep passion. And I would love to see Voyager come eventually as DLC to this. But as far as we can tell, they're bringing the bridge and they're adding
At least the consoles will be recognisable.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, that's a good point. All the computer consoles are actually going to be the computer consoles that everybody recognises from Star Trek. The colourful shapes you move around to interact. That'll be cool. I wonder if it'll be how I picture it to work, or how it actually works. Because in Star Trek, they touch them and nothing happens. They're just buttons, aren't they?
They are just buttons.
So I don't know if suddenly when they animate them all, if it's going to look really weird. But that's something really cool to look forward to if you're on a Star Trekian voyage.
And the thing I was complaining about it originally, it lacked Borg, and now it's going to have it.
Yeah, that's true. Swiftly moving, we've got 5 big new releases to look out for this week on the PlayStation Store, plus full release schedule for the week ahead. Conan Exiles. Can you survive in the savage, brutal world of Conan the Barbarian? Only the strongest will thrive in the vast and dangerous open world of Funcom's latest survival game. Forge the legacy of your clan, build your kingdom, and wage war on your enemies.
It's an MMO if you're interested.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? Online?
Yeah.
Doesn't even...
It's a
Oh yeah, multiplayer. Yeah, I suppose so. So that's one thing to look forward to.
If you're interested in that sort of thing.
Destiny 2 Warmind.
Expansion add-on.
Yeah, it says VR though. Oh, PlayStation Store. See, this is the problem with the blog. Even when you're in the PlayStation VR section, it's no, these are all VR. They're all VR. Maybe it is. Destiny 2 Warmind. It's getting a VR patch, I guess, so that you can wander around somewhere. New strikes, story missions, and brand new raid lair. Seems odd that it would be on this list if it's
Unless
nothing
that's
to
just
do.
what's
Could
the
be an
news.
experience, but this is the VR list. So number 3, we got Floor Plan VR. It's crazy what can happen on a single elevator journey. Ascend through Floor Plan, a frenzied puzzle adventure that takes place entirely inside a lift. 8th of May. Cool Paint VR, which is amazing. If you want to know anything about that, we've got that. We've got it on the channel. I did a bit of painting. I hope to do some more painting because it's actually a lot of fun. It's pretty good, that. And basically, I'll read their blurb anyway because their blurb's going to be better than my brief explanation. Turn your PlayStation Move paintbrush. Oh, yeah, PlayStation Move into a paintbrush and get creative with Cool Paint VR. Turn space into a 3D space and unleash your imagination to see your paintings from within. And it does only use one move controller, like a paintbrush, which I like and I dislike. It would be nice to have your other one so you can point your hands at it and sort of navigate the menus, but I'm getting used to it. It's easier as you go. And last on this little part of the blog, sort of 5 games coming out this week, we have Laser League.
Which is dodgeball with LED balls.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a futuristic game from 011011 or Ollie Ollie, can't tell. Very tiny writing. It's either 011011 or Ollie Ollie. Creators of Rolly 7, a high-speed futuristic sport where teams of 2 or 3 players face off, where reflexes, tactics, and strategy are vital. Figure out the patterns of multiple arenas, moving lasers, and manipulate the puzzles to eliminate other team with your own lasers. So you fire a beam, and then I guess you're reflecting and ricocheting and such like that. So online, playing with friends, couch co-op as well by the looks of it. So that's nice. You can do local multiplayer.
Yeah.
I hope that's a good thing. That's out on May 10th. Anything with multiple... Yeah. I'm going to sip my tea. But anything with multiplayer local co-op, where you can sit on a sofa, one's in VR and one isn't, is up on my books immediately. Because there just aren't enough games like that at the moment, which you can play in a group at a party or something. Next, we have Pilot, a superhuman robot in the freeform PSVR platformer To the Top, out 29th of May. You play as a robot and you seem to be doing really good parkour, somewhere between sprint vector and parkour mode.
I was going to say
throwing yourself in
Mirror's
different
Edge.
direction. Kind of, but it doesn't quite scream Mirror's Edge because of the way you're doing it all with your hands. So you're sort of pointing your hands and throwing yourself in a direction. So I don't really see it as Mirror's Edgy, because Mirror's Edge is it's got a very specific type of combat and a very specific type of running.
I see.
But I think this is more similar to like Sprint Vector, because you're just sort of running with your arms and then throwing yourself. But in this, I don't know. I mean, you probably are racing in this. I'm sure there are time trials and things. It's a parkour game. But looks like a nice idea. I thought that when we saw the trailer, it actually kind of looked good. Something like Windlands to me. It reminded me of that. Sort of Windlands, but about parkour instead. Sort of cartoony, but a really well-made, nice thing. Finally, on the PlayStation blog, we have PSVR shooter Arizona Sunshine. Dead Man prequel DLC launches in June. So if you liked Arizona Sunshine, there's some DLC coming. Dead Man does not reveal the origin of the zombie outbreak, but instead shows humanity's attempt to contain it in a desperate mission that will keep the ever-most season of Arizona Sunshine survivors on their toes. There you go. So you got new missions, new things to do, some DLCs, some new weapons, automatic machine gun, two-handed shotgun, that sounds like fun, and a tactical handgun. Oh cool, so there's 3 of you in a group. A new bit on the main campaign.
Gone like Resident Evil 3 with it.
Yeah, Arizona Sunshine is like a sort of almost a wave shooter, but you get to run around in an area. That wraps up the blog. If you want to check out anything we just talked about, head over to playstation.com/category/PlayStation-VR. Don't blame us, blame them for not making it just playstation.com/blog. Which you think would be what it was, but it's not. It's that. So, but for now, we ask, wherever you are, have we been? Where we discuss games or experiences that have our personal attention for all the right or maybe the wrong reasons. So, Mike.
Yes. I've been looking at getting Voltron VR for the channel.
Oh, yes, you have, because you've been watching that.
Yes,
that's a good point.
I'm quite enjoying the show, and then when I found out that they did a VR experience that slots in between it somewhere.
What is the VR experience? Sell it to me. Make me your brother.
Well, from what I've,
The show didn't sell it. Try now.
Well, the game, let's say game, I don't expect it to be longer than half an hour, given on other experiences that have come out before. But, it's got some puzzle solving, a bit of shooting in the Voltron Lion.
So, because it's like,
because you play as one of the characters.
Yeah. Oh, do you? You don't play as your own character?
No.
Okay, fair enough. So you play as one of the teammates.
Yeah.
That's fairly cool. Can you pick?
No, it's
a set storyline thing. Fair enough. Because it's basically Power Rangers, isn't it? For people
Yeah.
who don't know, the listeners who haven't seen Voltron, it's the people that did Avatar on Netflix.
On Netflix.
On
yeah.
Netflix, doing a new series which is basically a take on Power Rangers. You've got the lions.
Well, it's
and the
based on
tigers.
the original.
It's very good. It's out there.
Anime.
Yeah. It is based on the anime.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's very. I will agree. Very Power Rangers.
Mike really likes it. I'm not so fond. But
I was so fond of the Power Rangers itself. So.
Yeah, I liked the Power Rangers. How very dare you? But if there's a VR experience and it's not too much, we'll have a look. We might do that on the channel. Because if you do it and then I do it, we can actually compare notes, which would be quite fun. We haven't been able to do that on many things, just because you don't like the same things as me. Damn you having an opinion. And where VR have I been, I wonder? Well, I have been in Eve Valkyrie.
How is that?
Good.
Is it basically what I fear it to be a VR Battlefront 2?
Actually, yes. When you put it like that, yes, that's exactly what it is. It's VR Battlefront 2 because you've got a ship. I don't know. It's a bit weird.
It's a full-priced game, and yet you can't really play through it without spending money.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of microtransactions in it that I wasn't too happy about. But again, I don't really mind. I get a bit fiddly because some microtransactions I feel like are business. Like World War II's or GTA, I think they need microtransactions because not that they don't need them. No game needs them. But
not when
there's nothing wrong with having them. Like if I go into a game and I'm like, oh, I've got all this online. I'm going to go and unlock 100 guns, and then I see someone who's like, oh, they've got that gun that I want. It just makes me want it more. It doesn't make me necessarily want to go and pay 99p to get it then. But I don't know. It is a fiddly white line. But I think like GTA and World War II's do it well, and I think that we can get some more VR games like that would do it well as well. But Eve was a bit in my face about it. It kept telling me that I could pay them some money and then I wouldn't have to do all of this bollocks. It made me do a tutorial that was really shit, and then it made me do a very, very short story mission where it actually gave me the proper intro and lulled me into this false sense of security that I was going to see something cinematic, 5-10 minute bits, and there are 5 of them, so it's like 50 minutes of gameplay. If you were good at the game, you'd have that done in no time. I'm not good at the game, and therefore it's taking a little while, but it's not been horrendous, but it's not been...
So it has good elements and bad elements.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. 5 out of 10.
Okay,
50% out of 100%. But it made me get plus. That upset me. That it wouldn't let me carry on. It went, you need to get plus. And I'm like, but I haven't clicked anything online yet. And then it went, no, you need plus, and it took me to the store, and I was like, okay, I'll get plus. I need it anyway, but and then I went and did story, and I've done nothing online yet, but it still made me. And I don't know what the buttons are to change my ship. I've got lots of weird things with that game, but I think it's just the way I'm playing it. When I get to the online bit, I'm sure it's going to go, here's your shit, here's your garage, here's this, you're online, upgrade, do this, it will give me...
But then again, you've only just started, and if you've got to, like, build up in-game currency to buy your ship...
Yeah, exactly. I don't... Well, I think the ships are free. I think it's the skins that are paid for. It's very odd. I don't really know. It's not very clear, which is even worse considering they're going to charge for it and all the rest of it. But nah, it's very odd. Anywho, we have a section to talk about which is quite impressive, do we not? Because we are going to move on to the E3 discussion, where me and Mike have put together our individually top 5 things that we think are going to be at VR E3's Sony press conference extravaganza. And that puts together a full 10, a few 10 points. So 10 points we think are going to be at E3. I'm going to go first because I edit all of this at the end, and it's easier if I go first because I can find it. When I go through the audio to locate it, it's easier to do. So number 1, I think Dreams by Media Molecule will be at the PlayStation Showcase, and it will be a fully playable version of the game. That's my first prediction because I think that it's been long enough. Their YouTube is fairly active as well, so they're pretty on that at the moment, and I can't really wait any longer. I think if they leave it any longer, I think even I will forget what it is. It's like I'm not even sure what it is anyway. It's Little Big Planet VR. Make something, throw it online, film, movie, game, whatever. That's great. It's Dreams, whatever you can think of. Use your imagination. But I am still really like, what is this?
This was meant to be a launch game as
this
well.
was meant to be a launch game. I mean, they've been talking about this since what?
The end of PlayStation 3.
It was, yeah, because it was when Little Big Planet 3 and everything was starting to burn off. And oh dear, what's going on at Media Molecule? Get your shit together.
I don't think it's them. I reckon where they are going to rely so heavily on community assets, they're probably just building those assets up.
Yeah, but they can't, can they? They've got to wait. Well, because it's all going to have to be made in the game engine, isn't it? Like the creation bit. They make all the levels in the game. So maybe what they've been doing is making the editor for all this time, because it's such a difficult thing to make, and then it only takes a few months for the level designers to throw together something. I don't know though, because Dreams is going to have some sort of storyline, surely. Are we going to unlock bits?
It'll
probably
probably
unlock materials in a dreamscape? Because I don't know how you do that. Can you go, I would have made this cloud out of fur. I've made it out of cardboard because I have not unlocked fur. You're like, that's odd considering we're in like a dream of imagination. It's almost a bit counterproductive.
I'd almost suspect there is the campaign and you go through and unlock.
Yeah. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Totally legit.
Mainly because that was what happens in Little Big Planet, Little Big Planet 2, Little Big Planet 3.
Right, if you're going to name 3 games in the series, yeah, you're right. So, moving on though. What's your number 1?
I reckon we'll get a PSVR announcement for Fallout 4. I reckon that's to be this E3, seeing as we had Skyrim for the PSVR and then that went to Steam, and that I reckon we're going to get
The Flip. Yeah, I see. They did say in quiet conferences, didn't they? And I mean, I hope that it happens, just so that I'm not wrong.
I want to play it. If it comes, I want to do that one.
I'd like to try, because we've talked about this before. We've not played Fallout 4 or 3. I played a bit. No, I have played 3 because New Vegas is part of that. So I have played New Vegas, and I liked it. I tried it, and I liked it.
I played 10 minutes of 3 and went, this isn't Skyrim. But
yeah, you go, I'm here to fight dragons. Take this gun, and here is your hazmat suit. I've made a mistake, sir.
I think I went the wrong way somewhere.
I've taken a wrong turn. Yeah, that's fair enough. I get that. See, that's one of my problems. But in VR, I think I could roleplay it.
Yeah.
Sad to say, but I think that's what VR does. Like, I'm there to roleplay, and I think I could roleplay that environment quite happily.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I like to think that will happen, and if it does happen, it means we all get a point, because we've been advocating that that's going to happen here on other people's podcasts and on other people's channels. We've been voicing our opinion I was on PlayStation Live's podcast with Danfol, and I was going, oh, it's definitely going to happen. He's going, you're a crazy person. So, Bethesda, if you're listening, don't make me a crazy person. Release Fallout 4 VR on PlayStation. Even if it doesn't work, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Just potato those graphics. It has to happen.
I can't see the point of that, but...
What, turning all the graphics down? Well, they might not. I'm just taking the piss. But they might have to do that a little bit. But then again, there are other things that they're working on.
It's funny that I remember that comment. I can't remember if it was like on the last podcast where someone was saying it's like, I've got Skyrim on the PC, but it looks better on the PSVR.
Yeah, that was a comment. Yeah, I can't remember who that was off the top of my head, but yeah, they were saying they've got both, but it looks better in VR, and it's an interesting one because there's something about depth perception and perspective that really does that. 1 second while I take a long sip of my tea. I guzzled it so that it was an audio experience. Yeah.
So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is that we will get Moss, Requiem of a Dream, Chapter 2, The Return, The Reckoning. And that will be announced because it's been, again, about the right length of time. I think that's their killer at the moment. PlayStation are sat there and I think they think that Moss is going to be the big thing.
That's going to sell it.
Yeah, and so far, the first one did a pretty good job. Like, it was fairly well known. It was talked about pretty much across the board. So you ought to keep that ball rolling pretty quickly, I would have thought. And because it was quite short and quite simple, and assume that they started working on it the day after it went out, let's say, PlayStation were like, this is doing very well, we just like to do a number 2. And it was open-ended, spoilers, so it did end on a cliffhanger. It's blatantly going to carry on.
Well,
so...
the fact that it's called Chapter 1 is a bit of a good one.
Well, yeah, that might not though. I mean, it's difficult. Obviously, it's based in the book, isn't it? So it's kind of hinted that there's going to be more than one section because you're playing through a book and it's in chapters. But the game itself is in chapters, so it could, that could easily have just been it. But it's pretty darn likely, I think, we're going to get Moss Chapter 2 at this E3. What about your number 2, Michael?
I reckon we'll get an announcement for Resident Evil 8.
Ooh.
And it's going to come with VR support.
Yeah, okay. Well, the VR support thing, I believe, because that has to happen. When Resident Evil 8 comes out...
That's what shifted 7.
Yeah, when it comes out, it will be in VR. Do you think it could be that soon? When did it come out, Resident Evil 7? A year, 2 years ago? 2 years ago.
About that?
Yeah.
So I reckon we'll get the announcement.
Year and a half at least. Thing is, Capcom are very good at this because when they announce a game, it's only normally about 6 or 7 months until the game comes out. They're a bit like Bethesda, who have a habit of doing the same thing. They'll be absolutely silent, and then about 6-7 months before, they'll suddenly mention it, and everyone will go, "You haven't even spoken about this before." So if they do mention it now, it'll be out by Christmas, which would mean maybe that's about right because it'll be the Halloweeny time. You see what I mean? So you might be onto something there. That's probably not a bad stab at the timeline. If it was to come out around Christmas, dark, Halloween, cold, everyone's indoors. Yeah. That's what you aim for with a horror game. You want it to come out when everyone's
inside,
naturally frightened of their environment by nature. When the world gets colder for a bit and everyone just gets naturally scared. That's when you want your VR games to come out. Are we back to me?
Yep.
Ooh, number 3. At least one classic game is going to come to PSVR. And when I say that, I mean a bit like we had Skyrim, which was already out. I mean, that was a Bethesda job. But maybe BioShock. Or, I mean, I'm going to take I'll take another stab at Bethesda and say, where's Dishonored? Where is Dishonored in VR, Bethesda? Where is it? Just want to go at the door and scratch it into the glass. Where is it? No, I don't need to be there. It just needs to be really haunting. They just all turn up into the office and all the chairs are being rearranged into where is Dishonored? Dishonored 1 would be so good in VR.
That would be.
It seems unlikely that it will be Dishonored, but I think BioShock is a possibility. I think that might come to VR. And
that could quite easily come to VR.
I think it could, and I think a lot of people would be on board for that. I can see it selling as well. Also, I hate to be fanboy-y, but from Sony's point of view, if you're going to put something onto PlayStation VR and make it a big thing, You want it to be something that used to be on Xbox. I can see a business decision going. It's just, we want that. Get Bioshock on. Get COD, for instance. COD. That'd be fantastic. And what a stab that would be at Microsoft. So they're not even here at E3. And COD in VR. Bioshock in VR. Crackdown. Well, not Crackdown. That really would be impossible. But how amazing would that be? You know, something backwards compatible, basically.
Yeah.
What about you? You're number 3.
I reckon we'll get some DLC for Wipeout.
Gasp.
Maybe like some new tracks.
That'd be magical.
You know, just a couple, and then you get a couple of new ships to go
You
with.
stole that. That's mine. That's not really, but I said that in one of my videos, which you probably didn't see, to be fair, because I'm not that egotistical. So we did say, though, we were talking about how it seems likely that they're probably doing more content. I would have thought it would be just a couple of ships or a track or something, but full DLC isn't something I considered. Like, because you've got 2048, they could just tag in another one, another campaign with a new set of tracks and a new set of ships entirely, which I hadn't considered. I really hadn't, because it does need some new stuff. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't have some new stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
There's only like 6. I think it was 6 people
Yeah.
ported the entire thing. Again, shoot me down if I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments, mighty internet, who, if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was only 6 or 7 people over at XDev that did that, and it is stupendously well ported.
So yeah, I can't see why they can't add.
No, neither can I. I think that's a very good point. Well done, Michael. You can pat yourself on the back very loudly, so that we can. Good. There you go. Yes, the audio experience. We think of you. We think of you. Number 4, from my point of view, is that PS Plus is going to be announced as being a monthly thing. They're going to drop PS3, which I think they've already done, and then they're going to start introducing a free PlayStation VR game every month, which gives them a total of 40 months. Or 60 months worth of games, and then every game in the store will be free, because that's so they'll really have to up their game. But there's about 70-80 games in the store, and I think maybe 30 of them you could easily say are free for a month each. Like Windlands, that could be free by now.
Yeah.
Other people than me and you and need to have played Windlands. Other people than us, the sort of diehards, need to have played Ultra Wings, because people don't buy things that they don't think is going to work for them, if you know what I mean. You have to really put something in your hands to give it a go. Like I didn't think I'd like Eve as much as I do for all of my bitching about it, but I haven't played that because I thought I wouldn't like it, but I like the idea. At the moment it's like cheap enough, and I actually went out of my way and got it and did some videos on it. I was like, actually, this is really good. I could play this in my own time. So it is interesting, but I think that's almost guaranteed that we're going to get a PlayStation VR monthly game, and they're going to talk about that at E3. Well, what is your number 4?
I reckon we'll get Rocksteady will be there, and then they're going to announce their Superman game.
Ooh.
And it'll have VR, either like a mode or it'll be fully playable, but it'll have a VR thing with it.
Okay, so you mean
because of what they
which Superman game?
You remember Batman Arkham VR?
Yeah.
That game company who made that.
I know who that. Do not pest.
But they've announced it's either leaked or been announced, in the background, that it's a Superman game.
So you think that there's a Superman game coming that will be announced at E3 with PlayStation VR compatibility?
Yeah.
Interesting, because I'd like that. There was a VR game out before. I'm lying now. There was a Superman game out before, which I played on PS2, which was brilliant. I don't know who did it. I remember seeing videos saying it was the worst game ever made.
Oh,
but I really
sure
liked
it's not on the N64?
No.
That was the worst
definitely.
one.
Well, it's not the worst one then, thank God. And that you could fly around Metropolis, and there was like a monorail train, but it was done in a really cool art style that looked like the comic book, like the original Superman. It was all kind of blocks of colour, and I really would like to do that in VR. So a Superman game to me would be great.
Apparently it's set in the Arkham verse.
Oh, so it'll be all dark and wet.
Well, no, his bit's going to be in Metropolis, so it'll be brilliant.
It won't make any difference.
It does actually.
It'll still be all dark and
No, it
wet.
does actually. Gotham is always dark and raining. Metropolis is brilliant sunshine,
No
no matter time of the
suppose
day.
They just have a habit of doing that to games. All games are dark and gritty. If we go to Metropolis, and there isn't a dark, grungy alleyway where it's raining at night, you can just piss off, because
Apparently
that
they're
will
working
happen.
towards a Justice League game with multiplayer.
Now you're just lying to me.
Well, no, that's the speculation.
Yeah, there might be, but we don't know.
No.
There's some rumours floating around, but we don't discuss complete rumours. We discuss
Anyway,
facts.
what's your number 5?
My 5 is that Bethesda are going to announce a new game that is VR compatible, and I mean in its entirety. Technically, you've nicked the bud off of me because you said Fallout 4.
But that's
But
not
I mean,
really
yeah,
a
I was
new
going to say, but
one.
I mean a new game because they've got Rage 2, and I have studied that trailer with a fine toothpick, and there are a few clips of first person in it, and they look pretty VR-y. Very difficult to say. I don't like to stick my head quite over the precipice quite so far, because I'll be shot. But I think that we will get Rage 2 in VR, or maybe Starfield, or whatever Bethesda's secret new game is. I think that will be VR compatible. Or Rage 2. I wouldn't mind playing Rage 2 in VR, to be fair, because it is a full-on, basically Mad Max experience. So that's all good by my account. And what's your number 5?
I reckon that when Spider-Man comes out and Tomb Raider, they'll come with like a little VR experience. You know, sort of with Spider-Man, it'll probably be like a gallery shooter.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider will probably be another foray into a mansion.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good guess actually. That seems fairly reasonable. We'd get because they did the Tomb Raider one before, didn't they?
I think the last one they did it when you ran around a manor.
So we'll get one for that'd be quite nice, because that did fairly well. It got fairly high praise. So did the Batman one. I wasn't a huge fan, but they got high praise, so people like them. So I can see them doing a proper one for Spider-Man and a proper one for the new Tomb Raider film. That's pretty good, actually. I think that's good. So those are our E3 predictions, and now we have our final.
Stab in the dark.
Do you want to go first?
Yes, Jurassic Park Evolve. It'll have elements of VR support. So all that first person hanging out from a helicopter trying to shoot your dinosaur, that'll be in VR.
That is a stab in the dark. So it's mine. But yeah, that's pretty good. I like the idea. That'd be amazing, because I'm really looking forward to that game anyway. But the idea of just going God mode, because I suppose you could just have it 360. You know, just you play exactly the same thing, but the camera is 360 around you. That really would be awesome. I'd love that. I'd love Black and White or Black and White 2 in. Black and White 2 is my favourite, so I'd have that in VR, and that would be a dream. And my stab in the dark is No Man's Sky.
That seems more likely than my thing, though.
Yeah, it seems more likely than your thing, but still pretty unlikely. So it's a tricky one there. I think No Man's Sky is on the precipice of making a comeback in VR.
Yeah, if it launched with VR, I reckon it would have survived a lot longer
than I thought it would. I'm going to make sure. I'm just going to put up that shield again against all those trolls. I can hear them shooting arrows onto the roof because they heard the word VR and the word No Man's Sky echo from somewhere far away. I don't like No Man's Sky, and neither do you. Do you, Mike? Say it verbally, otherwise I won't.
No,
believe
I
it.
don't.
You don't like No Man's Sky. Say the full thing.
I don't like No Man's Sky.
Good, neither do I, because we have to say that. It's almost a disclaimer on the internet. We all hate No Man's Sky. What they did was wrong, and they have tricked us all. But it's still Minecraft in space, and that is better than Minecraft, which we can't play in VR ever on PlayStation. We'd
Damn
like to.
deals of business.
Damn you, business conglomerates! But yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen. So, No Man's Sky is pretty good, and I like the idea of having a ship and finding a planet and going, this is a cool crevice.
This is home. This is where I'll build my Jedi temple.
Yeah, because it's basically, yeah, literally. I mean, I don't remember if you can dig anymore. You used to be able to dig in that game. When we first played it, you could dig and delete and put ground down. I don't think you can do that now. I think they actually took that out eventually because it like broke everything. You can shoot. I believe you can shoot, but you can't de-terraform. But that was because things kept breaking. They had the same problem with Subnautica, where they took it out of there, which is perfectly legit. You can't argue with them for that. But the next update, I feel like that is going to have VR involved. And those are our entire list of E3 predictions. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yes.
Yay! And if you've got opinions of your own, you should let us know. If you've got any ideas what you think is going to be at E3 with Sony's presentation as a whole, or PSVR as a whole, and what do you think that's about Microsoft not being there, and the fact that Nintendo are obviously going to have a huge...
Aren't they having their own conference, though?
Probably, I would have thought so, but I don't care. Nintendo are having a good thing there as well, so we're going to find out loads about any games which are going to be cross-compatible, which is something I look forward to with Nintendo at Sony at the moment, because it might seem unlikely, but we've had Skyrim VR, which came out on PlayStation, and then the same version of the game came out on Switch. So there could be a couple of games a bit like, and you've got Dark Souls Remastered, came out on PlayStation, came out on Switch. So there are certain games which might start flowing back the other way, and I would like to see some Japanese developers coming over to PlayStation VR. It's just something I'm really hoping to see, and I want to hear your opinions. Moving swiftly on, I have here in my hand a list of upcoming games which can only mean one thing. Games in development. Shout out to PlayStation Prospect for, as always, being our go-to for what's to come. Go check them out on Twitter and, of course, on their YouTube. Got a lot to talk about this episode, so the first game in development is... The Take. The Take is let me have a quick look so I can actually find a bit of writing. It's a local hot seat VR game where two players assume the role of competing spies in the golden age of comic book, racing against the clock to hide and seek classified intel. Basically, you have a room, you put some bombs and some traps and some lasers and some stuff down in it, then you go away, and then your mate puts on the headset, and then he investigates the room to try and find all the things you put in it without setting them off.
I like the idea, another game.
You don't think this is for you? I think it's something I would enjoy a little bit. It's certainly a party game, and the fact that it's multiplayer, I'm happy. Not enough games are multiplayer and in VR, and that alone really ticks me off just a little bit, because I just want to see more of it. I don't see why so many games have to not have that. Next up, we have Dream Match Tennis VR. It's by Bimbosoft and will be published by Bimbosoft also for PSVR. PlayStation Tennis at home, virtual reality tennis, first person perspective and simulation of movement, rotation, angle, friction gives you the sensation of truly being on the court. I doubt it. From the trailer...
It was going to happen, wasn't it?
It was going to happen, you're right. But from the trailer, it looks like there's an awful lot of moving around. Like, I don't see how you can have that much movement in one camera. Like, I've got a fairly small flat, don't we? And the square of movement is what, 6 by 5 maybe? Feet, meters, feet, wherever you are. I'm using feet. It's about 6 feet wide, 5 feet the other towards the telly, and that's more than enough room for any game I've ever played. That's fine. I've never ever had a problem with that.
So do you reckon this is a game
But
where
this
you
looks,
need
yeah.
more space than we have?
This looks like a game where you need a tennis court, because the guy's moving around a lot, unless he is actually using a stick to move himself around, or there are controls for that, but that seems like a really complicated way of doing it. To me, that seems like a really odd thing that you wouldn't do. Next, we have Dungeon Brewmaster. Dungeon Brewmaster is a magical VR experience with an emergent narrative. Seen through the eyes and township of the newest brewmaster, you control the story through your choices, brew potions and poisons for a variety of characters. Every brew has a consequence that will reach far beyond the walls of your tavern. So you poison people or you don't poison them, and it has an impact on the story.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's quite interesting if it's
There's more than I give it
if
credit
it's
for.
more than we think it is, yeah, which is, I don't know, but the idea is nice. It's basically, if you've seen Shoppy Keep,
Yeah.
it's Shoppy Keep in VR on PlayStation, but you're brewing, so you brew things together, people buy them, people sell them, you can lie to them, you can tell them the truth about what you've given them, and then see what happens. So I'm not really sure, really, but that's quite an interesting one. I mean, I like the idea, the concept's nice, and it's quite pretty, and it's a nice thing. Go check that one out. Next, 18 Floors. An entire floor consisting of an unfamiliar existence. Each of the 18 rooms is a different world, with its own history and story. Sealed room of phantoms, train over the sea of blood, forest of fantasy, city of God, and more. Follow along as the protagonist Andrea seeks out her true identity in a conspiracy of unimaginable magnitude.
I like a mystery.
I like a mystery, yes. It's a puzzle game, basically. There are 18 floors, each one's a room or a world. Get into a lift, go up, back to the next world, solve a puzzle, move on. I think it's a horror experience. It looks like a horror experience. How scary being trapped in a single room can be. Moving.
No, let's ask Stephen King.
Yes, I suppose that's a good point when you put it like that. If you're going to be cocky and start bringing in popular culture references. Moving on, we have Affected, the Manor. This is currently out on Oculus, but it's coming to PSVR. It's a venture deep into the darkness, but beware of what lurks within. Affected, the Manor offers a new level of immersion with this terrifying psychological horror walkthrough.
I doubt it.
With over 250 million YouTube hits and countless features worldwide, the popular horror experience is now available on Samsung VR and Oculus Go. I don't like the way they're selling that to me. It's a very bad description. It looks, apparently, bad. I had a look at some reviews from people that aren't talking in this trailer and going, it's the best thing since bread was sliced. But I've heard, actually, the graphics aren't fantastic. Other than that, not very much. It's just a generic horror game. But more of a walkthrough. I don't think it's possible to die. I think there are restart points.
Sort of like Amnesia.
Sort of like Amnesia, yeah. So if you like a good horror thing, maybe that's for you, but meh, it's not for me. Next, we have Mundfish's Soviet Luna Park VR. This is one you wanted to talk about, wasn't it, Mike?
Yes, because they've also done another game that's coming to VR called Atomic Heart.
Yes, this is also the same people. Apparently they did this and then decided to make Atomic Heart. Some of the assets from this game are in Atomic Heart.
Yeah,
So,
which I don't blame them.
Yes, if you don't know what Atomic Heart is, I recommend you Google that as of now. Or, better still, go to the YouTube channel, Sofa of Adam, or the Facebook group Sofa of Adam, and we talk about it there, where I share all things.
But basically, this is like one of those sort of. Remember, like in Batman the animated series, they went to that like little fair, the world of tomorrow.
Yes, it's literally that, isn't it? It's a world of it's Fallout 4 on steroids.
Yeah, with
In a sort of horror vibe. Obviously, everything's got living things in it. The robots look pretty cool. I like the designs.
They're people.
Are they?
It's like in the Soma sense where
they've
they're
gone down
people.
that route. Nah, I like it. I don't know. I'd have to play it to find out. But this game here, obviously, is more of a gallery shooter. On that happy note, we move on
To comments.
to comments, or what we like to call reader mail. Reader mail.
Reader mail.
Reader mail. Remember, if you have a comment, question or suggestion for a topic that you want us to talk about, leave us a comment with your name and where you're from, or better still, subscribe while you're at it and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a video, because we do one every day in case you didn't know. So, we've got some comments to read.
Yeah.
And this episode's first comment comes from Naki-chan, who says, I want to see deep 3D, like in real life, but in a game. Does it exist with PSVR? I mean, you can look around 360, but this deep, really 3D, not like fake 3D movie teaser trailer that only some parts are 3D. Can someone enlighten me about whether this product and its game? Because no vendors are competent in my town, and they won't let me try before I buy. Well, do we have some answers for you? For starters, it is full 3D. It works on the idea that you've got two screens. So the two screens, then obviously each eye sees a different screen, and your brain does the difference. So it looks as real. It's hard to explain, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it's very hard to explain without experiencing it, but your brain does fill in the blanks. There's no special feature. You do it all yourself.
Yeah, so when people say, like, it's not like you're wearing 3D glasses. It's
No.
not an effect. It's real 3D. So, like in Skyrim, it makes me jump sometimes because you feel like you're going to get hit in the head with something. Because you can have a table in VR and you know it doesn't look like a real table, but it looks as there as a real table. It looks like you could touch it. Your brain goes, that's a real object. It just doesn't look like any normal object. It doesn't look real. It looks like it might be real.
Even just sort of going to the other extreme, so like you go from Skyrim to Windlands. That's cartoony. You know, it's a blatant cartoon compared to Skyrim, and even that's the same, where it's, even though it's all cartoons and brightly coloured, it's as real as...
Yeah, it looks as there as anything in real life. It's
Yeah.
really surreal. That's why the sense of depth really works. So yes, I really highly recommend that you keep your eye out, because I know that there are Sony vans going around in the US, and they're doing a tour where they're allowing people to try VR. So maybe keep your eye out for a nearby Walmart or a Target that will have an event
Assuming
there.
you're in America.
We're assuming you're in America. Everyone's in America. We're not. Haha, a good old blighty. But I assume you don't have a Tesco and an Asda. Next comment. John Anfanoff. I remember you. Thoroughly enjoying these vids. Just need to... And sorry, I sounded a bit vicious then. I meant I remember...
I remember you.
I remember reading his name and knowing I was going to struggle to say it. John Anfanoff. Sounds very evil. John Anfanoff. Thoroughly enjoying these vids. We just need time to play more VR myself. But these have defo inspired me to do so. Oh, good. We're glad. We're really happy to hear that, because VR is something that we do want everyone to try, and it's great to hear that people are actually are enjoying it, and that we're making a difference. So if my 37th, I can't see, I think it's episode 37. So if episode 37 of Skyrim has finally convinced you to go back to it, then the other 36 episodes were worth it. Next we have Matt Hurdle. Hurdle? It says Hurdle. I hate names. Matt Hurdle says, I find the large canopy comfort setting a huge blessing. As a newcomer to VR, I can't play without it. I hate not being able to experience it in Wipeout VR. Having the canopy there really helps me to stop feeling uneasy, and I find it doesn't take away too much as you're concentrating on the track ahead. I hope to play without it in one day, but for now I'm just thankful that I can play at all. Smiley face. And we're glad to hear that the settings are there and they're making it better for you, because
I honestly find the reverse.
I also find the reverse. Wipeout's an unusual one because it adds a canopy to the ship, not your view, which I like. It's very weird, like in Skyrim, if you turn down
Ultra
the view,
Wings does the same. Does the canopy?
it actually blocks the ship you're in, which is a weird way of doing it. I like it, but it does. It's a weird concept. But I'm really happy that the settings are helping you get involved, and you play more Wipeout, because Wipeout's amazing.
Yes.
Wipeout's brilliant, and the more people that play it, the better, because it's just one of the best VR games currently out. And last but not least, by any means, a comment from Agish. Oh, Mike, read it. You read it. I don't want to. You read the name. Yeah, that's what I thought.
English slasher.
I think, is it Aegis Slasher, all one word. The greatest game of all time, Pokemon Crystal, which it is. I would like to point out that this man is maybe my favourite man on the planet at this exact moment in time. But now the moment has passed. He's not. But for that brief second, just then, he was my favourite person on the planet, and he should take that to heart and keep that with him. Because he's right. And we're hoping to do a few more Pokemon Nuzlockes, but we're just trying to see if we can get the view count up, because obviously we do count on what's popular. And if a video isn't particularly popular, then I will sort of work on not making any more of them, because people don't want to see them. And if I'm doing a video every day, I want to make sure that the videos going up are things you want to see. So do let me know if you want to see more of Pokemon Crystal, and we'll pick that back up. But at the moment, that's going on a brief hiatus. But that's all we've got for comments. Next, we'll just read out the subscribers, and we've got, obviously, at this very moment in time, over 460 subscribers, which makes me very happy. We're actually getting there over time, so thank you each and every one of you for joining. Starting with MMG, Big Leclit, the amazing LSB, ooh, I like that, Musk Stamford, Swink, Streetwise Rotherham, CH23, Ivan Gonzalez. Some of them are easier to read than others. TJM, Corky7775, Anthony White, Yoshi Tully. Oh, I like Yoshi Tully. That's just a cool name. Cerberus XXXXX. Kipping Mentes. Why have you all got to... I just called myself Adam. When I logged into the internet for the first time, people come up with really good names that are like really easy to say. I can't. Maybe it's just me. Never mind. Nerd Revolutions, Stephen Davis, Blake B, Sean D. See, this is good. Oh, Pop72. Your picture is an axolot, which is the cutest animal on the planet. I nearly bought one the other day. One of them. That's the thing I saw in the aquarium for the fish tank. They were like, oh, you can't have them in. They're like little underwater lizards for the listeners, but you can't have them with other fish. I have to have it in its own tank. And that was upsetting. So now I've got this beautiful new tank full of beautiful fish. My shark and my catfish really needed some company. I thought an axolot would be nice, but you cannot do. No, that's fine. But on that note, we will end there, because I think that we've read out enough people and you've all had enough time out of our day, and you've had plenty of time to appreciate our British nonsense. Yes. Please, sir, if you don't mind going to subscribe on the channel, we'd be awfully grateful. What day is it? Why it's this? Why
Tuesday.
Why it's a Tuesday? Why it is? It is go and subscribe to Adam Christmas Day. Ta-da! My name's Adam. I like to pretend. Now, if that's all, thank you very much for listening or having this video on in YouTube in the background. We do our best and we do appreciate you choosing to spend your time with us. Until next time, please like, subscribe, leave that amazing comment down below. I've been Adam. You have been Mike.
Bye-bye.
You stay virtual.